Hello my fellow crafters. Today I am going to show you some of the different wires that I use for wire wrapping and wire weaving, and the benefits or the downfalls of each, and why I use them for the different things that I use them for. Now first I'll show you the ones that I don't really use a whole lot, and that would be the bronze, brass, and stainless steel. And the reason why I don't use these too much, now these ones here I don't use a whole lot because both of them can contain small amounts of nickel. So I use them here and there, but not a whole lot because there are a lot of people with nickel allergies. So the bronze here, bronze is a mix of copper and tin, and it has that real nice gold look to it. And it's going to patina over time if allowed to, or you can patina it yourself. And then the yellow brass, this is an alloy of copper and zinc, but this also can have traces of nickel in it and will oxidize with a different color, just like the bronze will. Sometimes they look really nice when you mix them together with the copper and then anodize all of that. Now the stainless steel, I do not use a whole lot because even though this is dead soft, honestly, it's more similar to, say, a half hard or a little bit harder. It's like in between a half hard and a dead hard for this. And because of that, it makes it really hard to work with. It makes it hard to form it into the shape that you want neatly. And it's definitely a little harder to cut. Like, you really have to work a little bit, and because it is harder, it does have a little bit of spring back sometimes, so you're not going to get the exact form that you're looking for sometimes. I don't hate working with it, I just don't enjoy working with it. And like I said, it is a lot harder to manipulate, so especially if you're just starting out, stainless steel is probably not your best route. Now, if you want something with color, you can get some copper wire or aluminum wire. I don't use aluminum myself. I only use copper or sterling silver. But for the colored wires, I generally stick with Parawire. I have used other craft wires at the store. I'm not saying they're bad or good or anything. It's just this is what I get because I can buy it in bulk. And I like the consistency of it and the color choices. So this here is a dead soft 20 gauge. It's very easy to manipulate. Now I'll use this for base wires and for wire wrapping. I guess the best way you could describe the difference between wire wrapping and wire weaving is wire wrapping is when you take like one or two wires and wrap them around something. You're not weaving them like you would a basket weave. And wire weaving is when you take, say, a base wire and a really thin weaving wire and wrap the weaving wire around the base wire to form a pattern. That's more of what you would consider a weave. For the sterling silver, you can get, for wire weaving and wire wrapping, you can get dead soft and half hard. This here is a dead soft, and even though it's a dead soft, it's still, like, this is only a 22 gauge wire. So you would think with it being 22 that it'd be a lot more malleable. A dead soft sterling silver would be more similar to a half hard copper. And that's another reason why when you're first starting out with wire wrapping, wrapping with copper is probably your best route because one, it's more cost efficient, and two, it's far more malleable so you can get used to working it and learning how to use it without spending a whole lot of money or having to work too hard to get the shapes that you want. Now, I will also say that depends on your gauge too. For example, this here is a 12 gauge wire. Now this is really good for, say, hair forks, frames, and armlets and stuff like that. Something that you really need a nice strong structure to, or skeletal frame for. I use these mostly for hair forks and hairpins and maybe like some really large chunky links and stuff like that. Or I'll use it for hook clasps and stuff. But this here is, like I said, this is a 12 gauge and this is a 28 gauge. Now I know that it doesn't make sense if you think about it that a 12, which is a smaller number than a 28, would be larger than what the 28 is. But the reason is because of how many times they pull the copper through like a draw plate. So this has only been pulled through 12 times. This has been pulled through 28 times. So this here, like I said, this is really good for something you really need a nice heavy duty strong base for. And even though this is a dead soft, that's still kind of really stiff. Now this here is, like I said, this is a 28. This is the smallest that I would normally use. And this is a really fine weaving wire. So you can see that this is where you want really intricate work, really fine detailing. That would be your 28 gauge. Although I normally will use that 26 gauge because I like the more distinct look this has. This has a very fine, petite, elegant, detailed look, which is really nice for some things. Don't get me wrong. It's just I really like this because you can see the work a little bit more, I think. So here's a 14 gauge. Once again, this is really good for frames. That's actually what I usually use this for. The absolute most is frames and hooks for necklaces and bracelets and stuff like that. So frames and hooks for this one here, for the 14 gauge. I will use a 16 gauge for base wires, frame wires, hooks, clasps, and links that are like just copper links. So the 18 gauge wire, this is a really nice base wire, and you can also use it for small hooks and little links for your bracelets or necklaces and stuff like that. Now this is a dead soft 20 gauge copper wire, and this I will use for the base wire for weaving. I do not use this for frames. It's just too easy to manipulate, unless it's a really small pendant or really small cabochon. Then you can get away with using it for a frame, but it has to be a small cabochon. Otherwise, it'll be too easy to move the frame around and pop it out. Now this here, this is a 20 gauge half hard. So even though it's been pulled through the draw plate 20 times, just as this has, this one here is a little stiffer. See, that bends real super nice. And then this one here, you gotta put a little bit more effort into to bend. This one here, you can use it for, actually, you could use this for a frame if you wanted to. It's going to be a little bit more durable than this one is. But the number one thing that I use half hard 20 gauge wire for is ear hooks. These make wonderful ear hooks. They're not too big, not too small. And because it's half hard, you don't have to work harden it too much to make it more stable for the customer or yourself, whoever's using it. Whereas this one here, I've used these for ear wires when I first started. Terrible, terrible thing to do. I do not suggest it. It will work, but your ear wire, no matter how much you work harden it, it just will not hold up as well as a half hard will. And if your customer, say, gets a little bit forceful with it or is playing around too much or whatever, it's going to bend that ear hook, and then they're going to have an earring that they can't use anymore. So I do not suggest using dead soft for ear hooks. Use half hard. And the other two that I have that I use for my round wire are 22 and 24 gauge. These ones here I do not use a whole lot. Like occasionally I'll use this for a weaving wire when I want a really super distinct look. Other than that, I really only use them for making things like this. And I usually use them for the inside wire of this first curl, which I will show you how to do at some point in time. But today I'm just going over the basics of some of the wire and why I use what I use. All right, so there's all of the round wire. Like I said, I do use some colored wires like this here. I just don't, well, this one's a bare wire, but still, I don't use them as much as I use my bare copper. Now the other types of wire you have are your shaped wires, where the two main shapes are square and half round. And twisted is one you can buy, but honestly, all you have to do for the twisted is take some of the square wire and twist it. Now this is a 16 gauge square wire. I don't know how well you can see that there, but instead of being round, it's a square, as it says. This is really good as a base wire for your frames and also for weaving, especially if you want to make some heady jewelry, you'll want something like this. And this is really good for simple frames also. And if you're going to use that, you can use the round wire to wrap around it, but it's a lot easier to use this half round, which I don't know how well you can see that there, but there is a flat on one side and then the other side is a little hill basically. So it's almost like they took a round wire and cut it in half lengthwise. And this here will hold on to a square wire a lot easier than a round wire will. So it kind of, because it has that flush and you put it up against the flush of the square, it just kind of holds tight and gives you a more secure attachment. And they're also really nice for decorating too. For, let me see if I have a piece out yet that still has it. Yeah, I do. And actually, I can show you some examples here. So here is a square wire that I used for the frame of this, and then I used a half round in the back as the seating, and I also used some half round around here as a decorative accent. Now for this one here, I used an 18 gauge square wire here, and then on the back I used a 16 gauge for the frame. And plus the square wires are really good for catching, those little rhinestones and cabochons and stuff like that. So each wire has its own use and purpose, and it really depends on what you're making, what look you're going for, and how you want to use it. If you're just starting out with wire wrapping and you don't know if it's something that you really want to get heavy into, then it does make more sense to say go to a craft store and just pick up a little bit, or order a little bit offline, like smaller quantities, and see what you want to work with. The three best ones to get started with when you're just getting into wire wrapping and wire weaving would be an 18 gauge dead soft, a 20 gauge dead soft, and a 26 gauge dead soft, because that'll give you the largest range of options to start learning how to do things with. And then you can add on other gauges from that point on. If you enjoy making necklaces and bracelets, it'd probably be a really good idea to go ahead and get a 16 gauge round dead soft wire that you can use to make hooks and clasps with, and maybe some bulkier frames. And if you want to make earrings, you definitely want to get the half hard 20 gauge so that you can make a nice durable ear hook. If you want to start making frames like this or this, then you may want to consider adding in your square wires and your half round wires. If you want a twisted wire, instead of buying it twisted, just buy your square. That way you have the square that you can use for multiple things and convert that into twisted wire if you want. And that way you only have to buy one thing instead of two. So I hope that helped to answer any questions that you might have about getting into wire weaving and wire wrapping, and where you should start if you're interested in getting into it. Like I said, stay away from the silver until you get good at wire wrapping. Otherwise, you're going to be more afraid to make mistakes because you could potentially be throwing money out the window. The stainless steel, I'm not saying it's bad to have. I'm saying I personally do not enjoy working with it because it's so stiff and so hard to work with. Between the bounce back and how hard it is to cut it and the spring action it has when you do cut it, I end up getting cut. I don't really like that so much. And the bronze and brass, they are really nice to have for a little bit of a different look when you're mixing it in with the copper, but I definitely would not start here for the simple fact of the nickel. You really want to avoid nickel. Even a high quality brass or a high quality bronze could potentially have nickel in it, and it's just best to use that very sparingly for that reason. And of course, like I said, you have your coated wires. Technically, you're supposed to be able to hammer these. I just don't think that it's going to hold up very well to the way I hammer things. That's another reason why I stick with the bare copper. I used to only use the colored wires, but then I switched over to the bare and I found I like it so much more. And honestly, customers like it. I have a lot of people that come in constantly asking for just pure copper jewelry because of arthritis or anything else like that. I don't make any claims as to whether or not it actually helps with arthritis. At most, I will say that I have heard that it helps with arthritis and stuff, but I never say that it actually does. Now, I will say copper is a mineral that you need, but I don't make any medical claims whatsoever, just in case. You just never know, and I would rather be safe than sorry. If you have any other questions or comments or anything, please reach out, let me know, and if I can find you the answer, or if I have the answer for you, I will definitely let you know, and if I don't, I will do my best to help you find the answer you're looking for. In the meantime, thank you very much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Till next week, bye.